Hello and welcome to my new YouTube channel. I am Freya Swan and I am a seer. I enjoy all types of divination, trance work, all that good stuff. And this is my first video here on this YouTube channel. And I figured I'd get it kicked off with a Tarot Tuesday. So earlier on social media, on my Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, and MeWe, I posted a picture of some tarot cards face down, a simple 3 card pull. And I labeled each one A, B, or C and had the my various followers and subscribers or fans or whatever they're called on their various forms of social media pick one of the cards, and I would do the reveal in the evening, and that is what we are doing here. So here is the big reveal. We have for card A, we have the Eight of Wands. Card B is the Four of Cups. And card C is the Queen of Pentacles. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do an interpretation of these cards. And yes, it is going to be a little bit generic. It's not quite the same as doing a reading for a specific person, but everyone should be able to take something away. You'll be drawn to the card with a message for you. All right, so let's get started with card A, the Eight of Wands. All right. Let me just take a moment. All right. Now, from a practical standpoint, daily life is about to get a bit more busy, and that's probably not what you want to hear, but um, there's a lot of information and it's traveling very fast, both to you and from you. So I see lots of activity and information. So, and information that's traveling at with some speed behind it. So take caution not to overbook yourself or overwork yourself. And I understand that there are some astrological things going on with retrogrades right now. If you are someone who is particularly sensitive to that, please take a little extra caution not to overbook or overwork yourself right now. Um, Please pay attention to the messages and messaging coming to you, or even it may even feel, because it's so much of it, like messages and information is just coming at you. You're just being bombarded with it. And also pay attention to what you're sharing back out into the world. um, I know that it's sort of a pain in the neck to fact check stuff before we share it, but right now I need to ask you, to check in, and is this accurate? Is this information accurate? Is it helpful? um, we're being hit with so much information at an accelerating rate. As such, we need to become more discerning with the data that we keep and the data that we ditch, because the data that we keep, we need to be mindful that the messages that we feed ourselves, that we allow into our minds, will shape us. um, a lot of the messages that are coming through the media are just stressful. A lot of them are just pure junk. And, this situation is unlikely to change, unfortunately, in any way except perhaps the speed with which they arrive. So just remember, you don't have to accept every message or need to know every detail about an incident in order to be informed, but you should be checking things out in general, especially what you may share back out there. Lots of those details are just noise, unfortunately, and they're not necessarily completely true. So be careful of the information diet you're feeding yourself and what you are spreading around to other people. Also, please don't lose your own voice and your own thoughts in all of this sort of chaos. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to share your voice or you share your thoughts, but just don't lose yours. Make sure that you're formulating your own opinion, not adopting other people's opinions. There's just so much information going on right now that and coming at people, that for people who picked this particular card specifically, um, it's going to be better for you if you just slow down, take a breath. I would say meditate if you can, a few minutes in the morning, a few minutes at night, even if it's just focusing on your breath and slowing things down. Just try to stay grounded, stay centered. I might actually put up a video on how to do that if you're unfamiliar with how to do that. But it's really important to stay grounded and centered when there's so much going on around you. All right. So for people who picked card B, this is the Four of Cups. I believe this actually came up in last week's Tarot Tuesday. I didn't have a video for that, but I did post it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and MeWe. So the Four of Cups for today, the people who picked this, give me one moment. All right, inspiration has been lacking, leaving you feeling sort of like you're flapping in the breeze here. You're bored, you're frustrated. It's as if your creativity reserves, I guess that's the term I'm hearing, creativity reserves, have all but dried up. At the same time, however, there is a tension and anxiety here that exists as you um, feel the pressure to be productive, but I mean, it's just not there. I mean, you just don't have it. You don't have the ideas, you don't have the energy, you don't have the fire. So, the source of this, the boredom, the lack of inspiration of life just being bland, is because you've exhausted all of your distractions. You've been distracting yourself. Now you're out of distractions, you've run out. And now you need to look within. There's been something you've been avoiding. There's work that you have been avoiding. This could be anything. And this could be something simple like housework. And I know that, like, well, wait a minute, that's not really a need to go within. That's just doing housework. Not all the time. For a lot of people, clutter around them can trigger a lot of anxiety, and it can be very difficult to work through cleaning that up. But also, why did the clutter happen in the first place? I'm not even talking about hoarding, but I mean clutter, having like maybe a pile of papers here and a pile of books there and a pile of something else somewhere else. Things just start to accumulate, and it can snowball. It doesn't have to get to the point of like hoarding or living in filth, but just having a state of disorder around you can, on the externally, can be a reflection of what's going on internally. So I just ask you to check in with that if you've been putting off housework. The same could apply to homework. Don't allow that to pile up. Why have you been avoiding it? Why are you putting it off, creating an emergency situation later on? But also going within could be something far more straightforward, like therapy. If you have got shadow work to do, if there's some trauma from, early childhood, or well, really at any point in one's life, if there was a trauma that hasn't been dealt with, maybe it's starting a diet, maybe it is, well, maybe not joining a gym in the middle of a pandemic, but starting on some type of a program of self-improvement. So really here you're asking, what have you been putting off? And more importantly, why have you been putting it off? Because whatever you have been using to distract yourself, it no longer can hold your interest. You've exhausted it. And whatever you've been distracting yourself from, your creativity and your passion, they're not going to flow until you address this. Once you do, though, you're gonna free that energy block, and things are going to start to flow a whole lot easier for you. This is actually a really good time for you to slow things down and go inward. For whatever reason, the energies right now are those that drew you to pick this card is more conducive to this type of work. So this is your time. All right, so now the final one, the Queen of Pentacles, for those who picked card C. Oh, all right. So we're going to have a bit of a departure from the messages from the Eight of Wands and the Four of Cups, um, which had a little bit more tension and sort of chaos to it. Um, Here, so we have the Queen of Pentacles, and often in a reading, a Queen of Pentacles might indicate a person with the qualities indicated in the Queen of Pentacles is about to come into your life, or is in your life, and you should look to them for some type of assistance or whatever. But that's not what I'm getting here. This time around, what I'm getting is you should be taking on the qualities of the Queen of Pentacles. And for any of the men who are listening to this, this doesn't mean that you need to take on necessarily feminine qualities if that's not your bag. But instead of being the hostess with the mostest, you're the host with the most. There is the messages here apply regardless of gender. So let's just sort of toss that out the window for a moment. So what we have here is the Queen of Pentacles is indicating you're entering a period of celebrating. So potentially hosting people in your home. That's probably why I heard the phrase of the hostess with the mostest and all that. Potentially hosting people in your home. This is a season to celebrate. Well, Halloween is coming up. We're going straight on through until New Year's. And I know that can seem challenging. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We've got election chaos going on, and there's all sorts of tension and instability. So I can understand that a lot of people might not be in the mood to celebrate. They're going to need you to do this even more. And you need to do this even more. We need to keep some semblance of normalcy. Now, I'm not saying necessarily, do something dangerous and have like 100 people packed into your, 2-bedroom apartment for a party. I'm not suggesting that. Be intelligent, keep any gathering small, intimate, limited to those people who you feel confident are taking reasonable precautions not to become sick. They won't spread it to anyone. But my point is that morale is important to keep up. So keep up morale in a sensible way, however that looks to you. All right. So that may mean that you don't necessarily open up your house, but maybe you share lots of happy images with people, maybe on social media. Maybe maybe you whip up a batch of some particular dish that your grandmother used to make that you know how to make now. And maybe you bring it to your relatives, leave it on their doorstep if you don't feel comfortable with socializing. But my point is, find these ways to be that nurturer. Find the ways to, keep that warm, cozy feeling going through these holidays. And I know it seems a little strange with everything going on in the world, but we need this normalcy, especially the children need some type of normalcy, even if it's a little different, even if like you're doing lots of video calls, or, even if you are just sort of like waving at people, just make the effort to get out and do that and share things that, feel good, that smell good, that, that look pleasing. Put, extra effort into, decorating your tree or decorating your cookies or whatever this looks like for you. Um, put in all of put that extra effort in. Now, on the flip side to this, where the Queen of Pentacles is a nurturer, that's not just of the guests in her hall, but also for herself. So, for those who are not going to be entertaining, for whatever your reasons, those who may not be comfortable with holiday or social gatherings or do not have access to that, the Queen of Pentacles is advocating that you pay attention to self-care. And I know that that can seem selfish to focus, on yourself, especially when you are used to making sure everyone else is okay. Um, but you can't take care of everyone else if you're drained. So if you do have issues with, self-care or giving yourself the time to relax, understand that, it's great to be going all the time, but if you don't ever put that cell phone back on the charger, it's going to die. And we don't want that happening to anybody here. And I mean, obviously the phone's not completely dead. You can charge it up and it'll be fine. But my point is, you don't want to get to that point of exhaustion. So you don't want to get drained, and especially not during a pandemic. You don't want stress and lack of sleep and lack of eating well to lower your immune response. So please be careful for that. There are a number of other videos that I could do from here. Maybe something on tending the home during the holidays, maybe some aromatherapy ways of keeping germs down in the house. I could do videos on grounding and centering and guided meditations if you'd like. So if you'd like any of those ideas, please let me know down in the comment section. If you haven't, this is a brand new channel. I could use all the suggestions you got. Please subscribe and put your comments down below. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. And please come back tomorrow. I'm going to be doing runes, a 3 rune pull, very similar to this. And Thursday, I'm going to be doing, I'm not sure which oracle card deck I'm going to be using. I've got a couple here. I have one that I use for messages from the goddess Bridget, and I've got an herbal oracle deck, and I've got a number of other oracle decks. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do Thursday yet, but it's going to be one of those. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.